Alright, today's Let's Install Some Pedals Day. Welcome back everyone, it's been a minute. These are the SRP pedals that we'll be installing today. These are for the Type R FL5 and also Integra Type S. They will probably be the same for the FK8, or at least close. So these are made by SRP. Really nice. The quality is fantastic. You can see how much nicer they look than the OEM, at least in my opinion. But you also get more grip, much easier to do heel and toe, because you can see on the Accelerator pedal that it has a little extension. The dead pedal is much larger, which is really nice, since the OEM one is really small. It's like for a size 5 or something. It's really tiny. I really don't like it. There's also the heel plate that could save your OEM carpets. They have different finishes. They have different styles you can choose from. And again, really nice quality, made in the USA. They've been making them since the 80s. I will put the link in my description and a coupon code to give you 10% off if you want to use it. But yeah, let's get started. The clutch and the brake pedal have covers on them. They are made out of rubber. You just have to pull on them and they will stretch the rubber and come out pretty easy. The clutch pedal is made out of plastic, and we need to enlarge the holes that are there already so that the bolts can go through. You can either use a drill to make them a little bit larger, or you can do what I did, which is just use the supplied bolt, screw it through, and then unscrew it, and the holes will now be large enough for it to go through later. Next step is just to get the 3 bolts through the holes. Pretty simple. Use the supplied Allen and just get them through. Between the bolts being kind of long and having to be awkwardly positioned to get access to the pedals, it's going to take a little bit to screw them through. If you use the drill, I do think it might be a better idea, because then the bolts will fall right through. But if you didn't, then you just have to take your time and screw them. I'm going to speed up the video so you don't have to see me do this for hours. Next step is going to be to grab the nuts that were supplied and just thread them through all 3 bolts. Just do it by hand at first, and then switch to your 9mm socket. You're really going to want a deep socket. The bottom nut can be done with a normal socket, but then the top ones can't. So just grab a deep socket right away and tighten everything nice and tight. Use the supplied Allen. I'm not sure the size of the supplied Allen. I wanted to use a nicer T-handle because I have a bunch around, and I tried a 2, I tried a 2.5, I tried a 3, and none of them fit, so I just used the supplied one and it was totally fine. So yeah, get them all nice and tight because you don't want the pedal to fall. Next up is the brake pedal. So this pedal is made out of metal, so you are going to have to use the drill. I recommend you get a nice drill bit because it's pretty hard metal, so you want it to go through easily. I use the 532 bit. You could probably use one that's a little larger, but I just wanted to have the hole as small as possible, so I just drilled the 3 holes, and then here I'm testing the bolt to see if it goes through. As you can see, I'm like, oh, this is not going well, it's not going through. So I just used the same drill bit and I just walked it a little bit just to enlarge the hole just a tiny little bit more. It was almost there. So I did it to all 3 holes, and then I just tested the bolts. All 3 went in, and we were ready to install the pedal. Next part of the process is pretty straightforward, since it's literally the same thing as we did on the clutch pedal. Just get all your 3 bolts through, and then use the supplied Allen wrench and just screw them all in, and then we'll be ready for the next part, which is getting the nuts through the back. So just as we did with the clutch pedal, we're going to do the same thing here. Thread the nut by hand, and then with the Allen in the socket, just tighten them as nice as we can. We do not want this to rattle loose because this is the brake pedal and it's the most important pedal. So just make sure everything is nice and tight, and just stand back and look at the difference between this and the OEM pedal. I think it's starting to look really good. Next up, we have the dead pedal, and this one's definitely the easiest one. What I did here was I just made sure that it was perfectly straight, and you really do want to make sure that it is, because you don't want to have to be putting extra holes through your OEM pedal. And then just screw the self-tapping screws that are supplied through the 4 holes. Because the OEM pedal is rubber or plastic, it's really easy to just get them through, and they will hold really nicely. You can also do it a different way, which is mark where the holes are going to be, drill a pilot hole with your drill, and then do the same thing. What I did here was I put one screw to the bottom and one through the top first, so that then the pedal is now held in place and you don't have to hold it anymore, and then finish it off. As you can see, this pedal is a little bit bigger than the OEM pedal, which is really, really nice. And yeah, we are basically done here with this, and it's looking really good. Give it a little shake, make sure everything is there, nice and tight, and we're on to the next one. Okay, next up is the Accelerator pedal. This one's the one that involves, you know, a little bit more work. It's not bad, it's actually pretty easy, but nobody shows it just because it's just a little more involved. What you need to do is, in my opinion, is to remove this metal cover that's on the pedal. You can probably leave it on and screw the SRP pedal over it, but in my opinion, it should be removed. So what you need to do is there's this 4 tabs that attach on 4 corners of the pedal, and you just have to bend them out so that the cover falls out. I'm using 2 different flatheads, a little one for the top because the space is limited up there, and a bigger one for the bottom, and I just bend them out, and then eventually, as you will see here in a second, the cover will pop out, and you will be ready to screw in the SRP pedal. We're almost done with this pedal installation here. So what we don't want to do now is install this pedal crooked, because it's going to drive you crazy. So the best way I found was put a little bit of double-side sticky tape on this and attach it to the OEM pedal. And this way you can do little micro adjustments and then make sure that this pedal is perfectly straight. Don't just judge it from this angle. Look different kinds of angles, because it might look straight here, and then you sit on the seat and you look down and the pedal is crooked, and that could drive some people crazy. Some people don't care. Some people have OCD, and you really want to make sure this is straight. So here I was happy with it. After a few minutes of looking, then I was ready to put the pilot holes through. Use the smallest drill bit you have, and then do your 4 pilot holes. You want to hold the pedal, because otherwise the pedal will move, obviously. It will be pretty easy to drill these holes because the pedal is made out of plastic, but the angle is really awkward. That's the worst part about this pedal, is it's so far in, and you know, I had a wall right behind me too, so the angle is really awkward, but it's very doable and fairly easy. I forgot to mention earlier when we were installing the dead pedal, but yes, on this pedal and on the dead pedal, you will have holes in your OEM stuff, and there's nothing you can do about it. On the dead pedal, you could possibly use double-side sticky tape to attach it. I don't recommend it, but you could do it. On this one, you have to do the holes and put the screws through. The good thing is this pedal is not that expensive, so if you want to return to OEM, you can just buy this pedal again, and it's, you know, fairly affordable. The dead pedal, I'm not really sure how it attaches to the carpet. I think it's probably glued, so that one will be a little more annoying to do, but you know, it is what it is. And this pedals, in my opinion, look better and will function better. So then we're done here. The pilot holes are drilled. Just get your self-tapping screws right through. I'm using this awesome screwdriver, Japanese vessel. I can put a link in the description. It really is the best thing ever. And just do all 4 self-tapping screws through the pedal and you should be done. Again, make sure they're nice and tight. On this pedal, you know, I have opinions. I think a bolt and nut might be better. It'll be a little more annoying because you would have to drill a little more and then get the nuts through the back, but we'll see. You know, SRP has been doing these pedals for so long, so if they recommend this, it's probably fine. I'll keep an eye on it, and if I see that if it starts wiggling or, you know, coming out the screws, I will probably put nuts and bolts on it, but you know, most likely it's fine. It felt really solid in there. I pressed it a few times with my foot, and I did some fake heel and toeing, as you saw in the beginning of the video, and it was really nice and solid in there. I was having some problems with this last screw. I guess my pilot holes were kind of shitty because it did not want to go in, and between the angle that I had to work with and being 28 degrees out, and just it was not cooperating. But eventually it did go in. Again, make sure they're nice and tight because you do not want this pedal to come out, and then you will be done. test the pedal, press it a couple of times. If it looks good, you're now done. Just vacuum everything so it's nice and neat, and sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Looking really good. If you want to know how to install the heel plate, stick around, otherwise you're done. Okay, you stuck around for the heel plate installation, so let's get this done quick. Most important thing is you do not want to install this crooked. So take it to the car, place it down, and look at it from a few different angles and make sure that it's perfectly straight. Then I just put some tape down so that while I was moving it back to inside the house, it wouldn't move anywhere. I'm using a pick tool to put some pilot holes through the mat, so I know where to drill by looking at the back of the mat. And yeah, do all your 4 pilot holes, turn the mat around, and with the drill, you're just going to get all those holes drilled through. I already had some bigger holes there. It's from a different heel plate that I had bought on Amazon that was not very nice. This one's much, much nicer. There are 2 sizes that this heel plate comes in. There's a big size and a smaller size. The one I have is the smaller size, although I wish I had gotten the bigger size because I think it would look better. So yeah, do all your holes. And now you're going to place these nuts. I'm not sure what these are called, but of course they are supplied. They are flat, and then they have these little spikes to hold to the mat, and you will put 4 of them in the back of the mat. They're really nice because not only they will hold the heel plate down because of the spikes, but they also hold it for when you turn the mat around and you have to put the bolts through. So that was kind of nice. The cheap heel plate did not come with these. There just were some other flat nuts. Now you're going to use the supplied Allen, and you're going to bolt all the 4 bolts through. Most important thing is that these bolts are really long. Maybe they're fine for some carpets. For this one, they are not. So you're going to have to cut them. I used the Dremel and just trimmed all 4 of them. You have to do this because they're so long, they will put holes in your OEM red carpet, and you do not want to do that. So get them all nice and tight, test it out, make sure that the heel plate's not going anywhere, and that's it. You're done. See you next time. Peace.